Ever notice how your cats sometimes act? Well, let's be honest, a little strange. Why do they suddenly start zooming around the house like they're being chased by an invisible threat? Or they'll lie in the most ridiculous pose, like it's completely normal. Today, we're diving into the top 10 funniest habits of house cats. You'll definitely recognise some of these in your own furry friend. And some things you might see for the first time and won't believe your eyes. Cats aren't just pets. They're true internet stars, meme champions, and masters at creating awkward but hilarious situations. Their antics are a blend of ancient instincts and pure absurdity. But that's exactly where their charm lies. Let's start with a classic, the unannounced dash. Anyone with a cat has witnessed this show at least once. Complete silence. And suddenly your furry friend takes off, racing around the entire apartment at breakneck speed. Over the sofa, under the table, through a box, up the wall, and back again. There's even a name for this, zoomies. It's a sudden burst of energy, most often happening early in the morning or late at night. And, of course, exactly when you're trying to relax. Why do cats do this? It's believed to be a way for them to release pent-up energy, especially for indoor cats who don't get much exercise during the day. But it looks absolutely crazy, especially if the cat is also yelling like a wild bird and knocking everything over in its path. A typical example, you're already in bed, everything is calm, and then, bam, the cat runs across your head, then takes a running leap into the curtain, falls off it, bounces off the wall, and hides under the bed. And all of this, in 10 seconds. It feels like he's on a special mission from a secret cat organisation. And you're just props in his stunt movie. You wouldn't believe how many zoomies have been filmed and racked up millions of views. How about the jumps to nowhere? Have you noticed how a cat can sit for a long time staring at one spot, and then suddenly a jump? Where? Why? At what? Nobody knows. There's just nothing. A wall. Air. Emptiness. It looks like they've spotted an invisible enemy and instantly launched an attack. Sometimes it feels like cats live in another reality and we just can't see what they see. Scientists say cats have highly developed peripheral vision and are very sensitive to movement, so perhaps they noticed a tiny flicker of light, a speck of dust, or a shadow. But that's not nearly as interesting as the ghost theory. There are videos of cats jumping almost a metre straight up, just because they felt like it, and then they walk away, looking like it's all your fault. And let's face it, when else can you be scared and laugh at the same time? Only when a cat makes an epic leap with a look on their face that says, "I've got this." Box logic. The law of the sacred enclosure. Put a box on the floor and a cat will get in. Cut a square out of cardboard, put it on the floor, and a cat will sit on it. Just draw a square on the floor with tape. Yeah, you know what happens. Cats simply cannot resist enclosed spaces. For them, it's more than just a box. It's a safe zone, a sanctuary, maybe even a portal to another dimension. Or, as the internet loves to joke, if it fits, I sits. Even if the box is clearly too small for the cat. No big deal. They'll squeeze, contort, layer themselves, but they will get in. Because according to cat logic, the shape doesn't matter. The intention does. Scientists link this behaviour to hunting and survival instincts. In the wild, cats hide in secluded spots to observe prey or simply rest while remaining hidden. But logic is one thing, and it's quite another when you see your chubby cat determinedly trying to squeeze into a shoebox that's half the size of its behind. The box is a challenge, and the cat accepts it every single time. Why does your cat insist on following you to the bathroom? You head to the bathroom, close the door, and then the drama begins. Meowing, paws sliding under the door, loud scratching. But open the door, and they walk right in, sit down, and just stare. Sometimes they even look away like, "Go ahead, do your thing. I'm just supervising." What's behind this behaviour? Is it concern, control, pure feline curiosity? Actually, it's a bit of everything. Cats are territorial creatures. They're absolutely convinced they own everything in your house, including you, and especially the bathroom. Why the bathroom? It's a room with interesting smells, the fascinating sound of dripping water, and crucially, a closed door. And what's more tempting to a cat than something potentially forbidden? Some cats will even perch right on the edge of the tub, stare into your eyes, as if to say, "Don't even think about drowning. I'm watching." And if you decide to take a bubble bath, consider your solo relaxation time officially over. So next time your cat is trying to break down the bathroom door, they're likely just fulfilling their duties as the chief safety supervisor. After all, someone has to keep an eye on that strange human who voluntarily gets into water every single day. Morning drama. The cat's scheduled wake-up call. If you think an alarm clock is what wakes you up, you simply haven't lived with a cat yet, because the real morning ritual involves a cat who has decided you've had enough sleep. And that's when the show begins. First, a soft meow, just checking if you're still breathing. A few minutes later, a pounce onto your chest, and then comes the classic repertoire, knocking things off the nightstand, walking all over your face, attempts to eat your hair, and occasionally a claw to the nose if you're being particularly stubborn. Here's the kicker, the food bowl is usually already full. But for the cat, it's not just about eating, it's about making sure you know they're hungry, and you'd better just get it without waiting for a formal warning. Why do they do this? First, because they can. Second, because their internal alarm clock is more precise than a Swiss watch, and if you fed them at 6:45 yesterday, then today at 6:44, you're already considered late. And even if you had a rough night and are desperately trying to sleep in, that's entirely your problem. The cat has a schedule. You have obligations. Mission: closet surveillance, aka the cat's secret base. You open the closet door to grab some clothes, and you're instantly met with a stare. A pair of glowing eyes emerges from the darkness, and there he is, sitting perfectly still, as if he's been waiting his entire life for you to finally discover his hiding spot. This isn't just some casual game of hide and seek, though. Oh no, this is a full-blown operation. The closet? That's his command center. It's quiet, warm, and packed with soft things. The perfect vantage point for keeping tabs on you. And yes, you can expect a little bonus, a dusting of complimentary cat hair on your favourite black sweater. It's no secret, cats are utterly obsessed with enclosed, protected spaces. It's hardwired into their instincts, the urge to find a secure hideout, especially one that's both elevated and fully enclosed. And if you accidentally close the door on him while he's in there, seriously, don't worry. He's not mad. He's ecstatic. An entire private den, all to himself. There are countless tales of cat parents discovering their feline friends hours later, peacefully snoozing away in the closet on a stack of fresh laundry, looking completely comfortable, as if this was precisely where they intended to be all along. So, quick tip, if your cat suddenly vanishes into thin air, start checking the usual suspects, the closet, a suitcase, any boxes or bags lying around, maybe even the washing machine. Trust me, they could be absolutely anywhere. Cats are true masters of the unexpected teleportation, especially to the most bizarre and inconvenient locations they definitely shouldn't be. Hunting invisible prey. Who's lost their mind? You or the cat? It's a scene familiar to every cat owner. Your feline friend suddenly starts intensely playing with thin air. He jumps, swats at empty space, hunting for something only he can see. Sometimes he has a look of intense concentration, as if he's on a top-secret mission. Meanwhile, you just stand there watching, and you start to wonder, is he losing his mind? Or could it be you who's the problem, since you can't see this enemy? So what's really happening? Often it's just a reaction to tiny stimuli, a speck of dust, a shadow, a glint of light, or even your own reflection in the glass. Other times it's simply a release of pent-up energy. This is especially common in young, active cats who are bored. But honestly, it really does look like your house is haunted, especially when your cat freezes staring intently into a corner and then starts hissing or jumping straight up for no apparent reason. If he's having a particularly good day, he might stage a full-on battle with this imaginary foe right there on the rug. And if it's an exceptionally good day, he'll declare victory and strut away proudly, leaving the corpse, say a slipper, right in your path. To be fair, the whole thing is both a little creepy and absolutely hilarious at the same time, especially if you happen to catch it on video. The internet knows exactly what we're talking about. Head in the mug, or cats, the unofficial drink tasters of the house. Leave a mug unsupervised for a minute and someone's already peering into it, or maybe even plunged in head first. Literally. Tea, coffee, water, soup. Doesn't matter what's inside. The main thing is to investigate. What if you've hidden tuna in there? Or maybe cream? Just in case, cats will give it a good sniff, a little taste, and then act like they had every right to do so. This is especially hilarious when the mug is narrow. The cat shoves its head in, gets stuck, and then backs out looking at you with an expression that clearly says, "You messed this up." Sometimes they won't even touch their own freshwater bowl, opting instead exclusively for your glass. Because theirs is boring, and yours is the forbidden fruit. Some cats absolutely love licking the bathtub walls, mug rims, drips in the sink, everything but their own perfectly clean, fresh water bowl. Why? Because they're cats. And that's all you need to know. Next time, before you take a sip, double-check your pet hasn't already sampled the goods. Otherwise, you might find yourself sharing your drink. One of you with whiskers, the cat ignore. When they hear you, but pretend not to, you call him. Once, twice, 10 times. He's nearby. He definitely hears you, but doesn't even twitch an ear. And you start to wonder, maybe your cat is deaf. But no, the second you open the fridge or quietly shake the food bag, he's instantly there, zooming in like he just teleported. So don't be fooled. Cats hear everything. They just ignore you selectively. Perhaps they think you haven't earned their attention yet. Or maybe they're just busy with something far more important, like napping. Scientists explain it simply. Cats have no motivation to respond to their name unless something beneficial follows. Food, play, or affection. They're not dogs. They are independent, proud, and a bit snobby. A cat can pretend you don't exist and then suddenly jump on your keyboard and demand attention. You can call him all you want, but he'll only come over when he decides it's time to spare you a little of his time. So if you're talking to your cat and he's ignoring you, that's perfectly normal. You're just interacting with, well, a cat. I'm not broken, I just lie like this. The liquid physics of cats. You walk into a room, and on the floor, what is that? A lump of paws, a twisted spine, a tail tucked under the chin. No, it's just the cat in its new pose of the day. Cats have a knack for lying in ways that suggest they're entirely boneless. On their back, paws in the air. On their side, stretched out like melted cheese. On the keyboard, on a book, half in a box, half outside of reality. Sometimes it looks like they fell asleep mid-jump and just stopped. Or like they were powered down like an old toy. Why do they do this? Firstly, cats are incredibly flexible. With over 230 bones, they can contort their bodies almost like acrobats. And secondly, it's about trust. If a cat is sprawled belly up in the middle of the room, it means they feel completely safe and secure. But it still looks weird, especially when a cat turns its head a full 180 degrees to look up at you, as if saying, "What? I'm just chilling. Go on, try lying like that without breaking something." There are thousands of memes featuring these poses, and no wonder. It's the pure essence of cat. Absurdity, grace, confidence, and total indifference to what anyone else thinks. And now, for the best part, the one thing all these habits have in common is that we absolutely love them precisely for that unpredictability. Cats are the perfect comedians. They never even try. They're just cats. And that says it all. If you recognised your furball in this list, give this post a like. Have your cats done something even funnier or weirder? We want to hear about it. Share your stories in the comments below. Subscribe for more hilarious observations of feline antics and wonders. What special quirks or oddities have you noticed in your own cat? Let's chat about it.